So the last topic is the interrupt. Okay. So let us. So interrupt is a is an external or internal event. That is, interrupt can be caused by both the events. That is externally or internally. That interrupts. Okay. That interrupts the microcontroller to inform it that the device needs its service. Right. For example, I'll tell you there is some other devices which provide a signal to the 8051 controller. Okay, simple example I'll tell you. Okay, if this is a device which provide any signal to the controller, particularly to the pin, that is we have a pin interrupt 0 and interrupt 1. We have two pins. Okay, these two pins are external pin. Okay, that is, if any devices give a signal which is interrupt to the 8051 controller, because in default, the 8051 will be executing the main program. So it will be doing some other operation. If 8051 receives this signal, which indicates that it is interrupt to the 8051, that 8051 has to serve what is the requirement to this particular device. So it may serve like it want to send some data to the particular device serially, or what is actually it wants to do. For example, if I give a pulse, you just send me a data. So it can be one of the application. I'll send you a pulse, you send some data to the ports, or you send some data to some other devices. The application would be varied, anything. Okay. So anyhow, the 8051 has to serve according to the device request. This is the device request. Okay. Right. So, right. So this is the external event. So this is the external event. This is what we say as an external event. So there is an internal event also. In that what we say as a internal interrupt. Okay, this is external interrupt, and we have internal interrupt. Okay, as of now, you understand that interrupt is nothing but it interrupts the microcontroller to serve the what is the exact interrupt requirement. Okay, right. So a single microcontroller can serve many devices by two ways. One is by interrupt way and another one is pooling way. Right? So interrupt is whenever a device needs its service, the control, that is through this interrupt concept, the controller by sending its interrupt signal. So controller will, so by fetching the interrupt signal, it will provide the service to the corresponding device. Okay. Whenever, keep in mind, whenever a device needs, this is the concept. Upon receiving any interrupt signal, the controller interrupts whatever it is doing the service the device. That is, whatever it is doing, it stops the process and it will service for the corresponding device. This is the concept. Right. The program which is associated with the interrupt is called interrupt service routine or interrupt handling. That is, there are set of programs. For example, to serve this particular device, there are set of programs which is already the controller has to be loaded in one of the locations. What that locations, what we say is the interrupt service routine. Right. Okay. Right. What is the pooling method? This is one way of servicing. Pooling is the controller will continuously monitor the device, whether it is giving a signal or not. This is one of the method. It is waste of time. So every time you need to check, it is waste of time. the controller has to waste the time to check the status. Okay, always interrupt is most preferred in industry concept. So industries, they will be using this concept, right? So if there is any interrupt signal, the controller will service the what is the set of program related to that service, okay, required for that service. Everything should be loaded in the controller programs. Right. So this is the interrupt mainly. What is the advantage of interrupt is that it can serve many devices. It can serve many devices, and we can reject some other if the controller is doing the main task. You can disable some of the devices request also. That is also possible by interrupt concept. So for I told you, for every interrupt there is an interrupt service routine. Okay, there is some special programs or separate sub programs for each interrupts that we will discuss. Okay. Okay, these are all the steps will be done by the controller. We are not going to do anything. When any interrupt occurs, what happens? What happens to the PC? That is, it will load, that is the next instruction which is going to be executed by the main program of controller will be loaded into the stack. So these are all the operation will be done before starting the interrupt service. Okay, this will be taken care by the controller. We are not going to do, right? So just for basic knowledge I have given. If you want, you can read that. Okay. Now we will discuss what are all the types of interrupts. So we have including reset, we have 6 types of interrupts. Including reset, we have 6 types of interrupts. So in many places we say 5 types of interrupts for 8051, but you have to tell that with including reset, we have 6 types of interrupts. If reset interrupt occurred, if you reset the system, what it happens, it will go to the starting location of ROM. From there, it will restart the system. You can see that if you restart the system, booting will be starting from the initial location 000, right, in the ROM. So once again, all the applications will be reloaded. Right. So there are 2 interrupts, right? So 2 interrupts are set aside for timer 0 and one for timer 1. Okay. So that is timer 0, timer 1. If this particular bit is 1, when the timer rolls over or overflow occurs, so this particular flag will set to 1. So which is one of the interrupt. So where this, if that is an interrupt for a particular interrupt, where is the program starting location is 000B. In this location, the controller will have some long jump address. Some address will be there. The controller in default, it will have some specific location for timer 0. For that particular flag is existing, what is the operation you want to do, that you have to program. That will be automatically loaded in this address, ljump address. Okay, that will be controlled by controller, but the starting address is 000B. Similar way, if the timer 1, the flag is 1, the controller will automatically jump to this location. In this location, the instruction will be like ljump, some other address. So everything will be taken care by the controller. So we are not going to do anything. So if this flag is going to occur, what is the operation you require? Right. So this and all what we say as a software interrupt. Right. So another 2 interrupts, or we have 2 interrupts, that is hardware external interrupt, particularly pin number P3.2 and P3.3, right? That is INT0, INT1. Okay, that is for external interrupt. So this is what we say as a hardware interrupt. That is external interrupt or nothing but a hardware interrupt. Any devices will provide a signal to this particular pin. So if it is a particular pin raises 0 to 1, which is the interrupt to the controller will stop the main program and go to this location and fetches the address, long jump to address. Your whatever the what operation for this external interrupt, what operation controller has to do, that you have to code it. Okay, that I'll tell you. Right. So similar way, we have serial communication. Upon data reception, upon data transmission successfully, this particular flag will set to 1. Upon this particular flag is set, what you have to do? So I can provide some software interrupt so that upon a character is transmitted, I want to perform this operation automatically. Automatically it will be done. So in this location, that particular programs will be loaded. Okay. So we have almost 6 interrupts, very important. So these are all hardware, 2 are hardware interrupts, except reset. So reset is something common. So while if we consider 5 as an interrupt, then 2 is external and 3 is software interrupt. Right. So now you can come to know that in many lab program, you can see that lab program starts from 00H, and once again, we will be using LJump or SJump main, which indicates that main is the label which will jump to the location 30H as the starting location. From the starting location, your program will be loaded. What happens to the 002 30H in the sense, it is more specially for interrupt. More especially for interrupts. Okay, now you can understand that. So now you can understand that why in the lab manual they have given this origin 00H, SJump main or long jump main. So from main label, you will be starting your programs. Why in the sense, we have given some space for interrupt. This is in default, controller will be assigned these particular locations for this particular interrupt, external interrupt, this particular address for timer 0, this location for external interrupt 1, and this particular location for timer 1, and 0023 for serial communication interrupt. Okay, that's why we are jumping from the jump label, that is main. So main program will start at the location 30H. Okay. This you should understand. So next, so now the same thing, see, if this particular software interrupt occurs, the subroutine subprogram will be executed at the location 000B. At that location, you have a subprogram. If that is timer 1 software interrupt occurs, subprogram is loaded into the particular location. There, the special instructions will be executed. Once it is after execution, once again the controller will move back to the main program. Okay. So interrupt is when the interrupt occurs, controller will stop the main function. What is exactly it is doing? It will stop that. It will service this interrupt and it will get back to the main program. Okay. Right. So similar way, if it is a hardware interrupt, then probably it will the program will jump to the corresponding location and it will service for the corresponding interrupt. The similar way, and this is for serial. Okay, the corresponding address I have mentioned. So now, so I want to control, like I want like I can enable all the interrupts. I can disable all the interrupts also, right? So if I want to disable all the interrupts, I can place it 0. If I want to enable, I can place it 1. See, for example, I want to enable all, set it 1. This particular bit, I can set it 1 so that I can enable all. If I want to disable, then probably I can put it 0. All the interrupts will be disabled. All right. So another example I will tell you. So this is not used in this controller. Fine. So if I place 1, all the interrupts are enabled. So here I can enable separately or disable separately. See, for example, I want to disable serial communication. I want to enable timer. I want to enable external interrupt 1. I can disable timer 0. I can disable external 0 by placing this value. Okay. If you place this value, the corresponding interrupts will be enabled and some of the interrupts will be disabled. Right. So just we are enabling interrupts. Always you can put FF so that all the interrupts will be enabled. All right. So this is a bit addressable register. You can set it the corresponding bit, right? That is by enabling all the, that is global enable, which means that we are enabling all the interrupts. Fine. So in this way, you can enable any serial communication. For example, I'll tell you now, I will clear this. See, for example, ES is nothing but serial interrupt. You can enable or disable by setting this particular bit. Similar way, the timer 0, timer 1, that is which is a software interrupt. So you can enable or disable by placing 1 or 0. So 1 is enable, 0 for disable. Okay. For timer 1, this is external interrupt, timer 0, external interrupt 0. Okay. Right. Probably we have 5 interrupts, including reset, we have 6. Reset, we are not going to do anything. Okay. Now coming to the program. So here you, for the interrupt program, you must understand very carefully and you have to work out at least 1 or 2 times. Only then you can understand. It is not easy. Many industries are working on this type of programs of interrupt concepts. Okay. So write a C program that continuously get a single bit of data from port pin and send it to port P1.7 and send it to P1.0. Okay. For this, they have assigned some, see, S bit, SW equal to, that is switch we are considering. Some switch is connected to particular pin. So whatever the switch status, that will be moved to P1.0 example. That is, which means that it is sending a single bit in the sense, nothing but it is a switch. It will send either 1 or 0, right? Right. So we are going to have continuously get this value. Okay. So we are assigned some variable, that is SW, which is particularly for P1.7. IND for indication, something, whatever the variable you want, you can put it, just assign it P1.0. Now, see, we in the program, you must understand that we have used while of 1. This is your, within the main program, this is going to execute infinitely. Okay. So that is whatever the status of switch, if it is a 1, it will be put here. See, for ASPER program, we have put 1. So we have just initialized in the software. So it will be 1, IND will be 1. So in the port 1, it will be 1, right? Okay, this is a simple program. Now, coming to the important interrupts. Here you can see that while simultaneously, that is, this here comes, you should understand it is an interrupt. Simultaneously, create a square wave of, see, because if this is the loop which is going to execute infinitely, how you can generate a square wave parallel? How you can generate? By interrupt concept only, you can generate a square wave parallelly. That I'll tell you. So create a square wave of 20 microseconds period. So they have mentioned period, you have to keep in mind. So delay can be provided for only one half cycle. So that's why I have kept here my value as 100 microseconds, that is off. Okay, because here we are toggling for every half period. So that if I put 100 microseconds, so then I'll be obtaining a value A4. Okay. So they are not told any mode operation. So you can use mode 2 we are using. So, since here it is the period is very less, small one. So we are using mode 2, which will be very efficient. Okay. So in this pin, I want to generate a square wave parallelly, P2.2. Okay. So here we are assigning P2.5 as a simple variable. So here, just keep it this. I will say next thing. So in the P2.5, we are going to generate a square pulse. That is the concept. So they're asking you to generate a square pulse by using a timer 0, and the crystal frequency to the controller is 11.05 megahertz. So that is what we have assumed, right? And timer 0 we are going to take. So I have selected mode 2. Okay. So now, just after initializing, so these things you can, I just told you, this is your main program which is going to execute continuously. Now I just pinpoint to the interrupt. Okay, I'll pinpoint to the interrupt because I want to execute these milliseconds as a clock pulse, one period of clock square wave. So in order to generate a square wave, I require a timer. Okay. So this is a switch status. If it is a 1, approximately this will be executed. That's fine. Now, the timer, you know which timer you are going to use, timer 0. So forget about this higher nibble. In lower nibble, you go to which mode you want to use. If it is a low frequency, that is a time for the positive cycle, if it is a very low in the terms of microseconds and all, you can use mode 2. Okay, for the smaller one. So I have selected mode 2. I have placed the value for generation of 100 microsecond. Okay, that should be placed in TH. Okay, since mode 2, TH 0 you should place it. All the places I have mentioned 0 because I'm using timer 0. Right? I started the timer. Okay, now the timer has started. Because in order to generate a delay of 100 microsecond for the 1 clock. Okay, now I just see here, I want to enable timer interrupt. Why? In the sense, this is very important. See here, the value is 82. See, you can put FF so that all the interrupts are enabled. Fine. Otherwise, you can specifically mention what is the value it should be. You go to this particular register for the the bit number 7 will be 1. So which can't be, the rest everything will be 0, so that we can put it 0. Particularly if it is 2, then probably at the place of 2 you have timer 0 interrupt. So that's why they are placing 82 here. We are allowing timer 0 to, that is, we are enabling this interrupt. Okay. Now, when this interrupt will occur, in the sense, if timer flag 0 equal to 1, when this 0 equal, that is timer flag 0 equal to 1, when it will be occurring, in the sense, from this data, that is the data which is loaded in the TL register, TL0, this data will be incremented to FF. Why? This is the delay period for 100 microsecond. So once it is FF, then it will be rollover. Okay. So overflow occurs. So under overflow, timer flag 0 will be 1. So condition is If at all this, that is software interrupt occurs, this software interrupt. See, if it is an interrupt concept only, we are thinking into that. Okay. If it is a 1, the condition is automatically there are set of programs, set of codes in the program which will be executed. Okay, keep in mind, this is the function. This is whatever the function name you can give, void, fine. This is very important. Interrupt 1 for timer 0. Okay, timer 0. If TF 0 equal to 1, the control will move to here. This function, if you place interrupt 1, because timer 0 is initialized by interrupt 1. If you want, I can get back to the one of the table also. So within that, if it is a 1, what I want to do, I'm going to generate, I'm just toggling the particular pin. Pin is P2.5 by toggling after certain time, that is after every 10 milliseconds. This will be toggled after every seconds. What it happens, parallelly it will happen. So it will toggle, then after toggling, the control will move to, after toggling, control will move to while loop. It will be executing continuously. So in parallelly, the timer will be running on. So once the timer flag 0 is 1, here 0 is 1, the control will automatically from here, it will move to here. For timer 0, this is the program, sub-program, which is going to be an interrupt program. If timer interrupt occurs, this particular loop will execute. Okay. See, because this function nowhere it is related to the program, but this is the interrupt, software interrupt to your program. That you should understand. Okay. Right. So parallelly, you can see that 2 operations are happening. See, within the loop, the controller is executing your main program. If any interrupt, interrupt can be 2-way, software interrupt or hardware interrupt. In this program, we are having a software interrupt. If particular software interrupt occurs, the control will move to subprogram. After finishing the subprogram, come back to the main program. Okay, this is the process happen. This you should understand. Okay, now we will check the same thing in the software also. So this is how the industries are working on different applications by using interrupts. Okay, by interrupts, they can do many things. They can do many things. I will share the thing. That is the software. Okay, I just copy pasted the same program. I think I have shared the software, right? Yeah. Okay. So I will compile this. So there is no error. So I will debug the program now. Okay. So as per the program, just open the output. What is the output should be in the particular, see, I'll just open the peripheral port pin. I will open with P1.7. Okay. P1, and I will close this and open logic analyzer. So in logic analyzer, P2.5, where my square wave is going to generate. Okay, I'll keep it this also parallelly. Right. And so what is the interrupt to my? Okay, what is then switch equal to 1? Switch is moved to okay. Okay, so now you can see that this is the output section. Okay, now the switch in the program I mentioned, switch equal to 1. Please, I will check. Now I'll start the program. Switch equal to 1, fine. Okay, crystal oscillator is 11 point thing. We can build the program. P 2.5. Okay. See here, you can see that I will stop this so that so here the square wave is generated in port P2.5. What is the duration of for positive should be 100 microseconds. You can see that for the positive pulse, that is for the one status, it is showing 98.1 microseconds. You can see for the time period, it's the same, whether it is going to generate 200 microseconds. Yes, it is generating 200 microseconds, that is 0.197 microseconds, sorry, milliseconds. Okay, so that it is equivalent to 200 microseconds, right? And you can check the status of particular pin port P1.7. It is the status is 1 always. Okay, if you can change the program if you want. If I provide 0 here, the switch is 0. You can run the program and you can check the status of the port pin 1. Run the program, just open the port pin 1. You can see the status, that is P1.0. Whatever as per the program, here these both are same. See if it is a 0.